Hello friends, it is time to talk about our RV trip because if we don't make this video now, we're gonna blink and it's gonna be here, and we feel like there is some more information that we can share. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Mark and I posted a video that our lives are changing a bit here coming up in the new year. Changing a lot. Did I say a little bit? It's going to be some big changes. Mark is coming home to work on the business with me, and we are homeschooling our kids. And to kick that off, we are going to take a 4-month road trip. We're guessing it's going to be 4 months. We don't have a definite end date on the road trip, but we are planning about 4 months. And we want to give you guys a little bit more information about that. Mark is currently putting the baby to bed, and then he will come down and join me, but it's time to just talk a little bit more about that. In our first video, we talked about some of the decision making that went on to get us to this point. And really, we wanted to push this road trip maybe off another year and do a little bit more planning, but sometimes it's important just to like take the leap. And we feel like with the ages that our kids are at, this is the time to do it. They don't have as big of responsibilities yet. Oh, there's Mark.
Hey,
thanks.
sorry.
It's okay. They don't have as big of responsibilities yet. We're just able to go do this road trip now. So we're really excited, but we're also very nervous because it feels like it's coming really fast now, and the holiday season is so busy that we just haven't had a lot of time to sit down and just like plan out all the little details, but we're just gonna have to do it here real quick because the time is coming fast.
Kind of too bright, huh?
No, just sit back where you were, or you don't want to sit on the crack.
Oh, we look kind of washed out.
Way too bright. It's gotta get adjusted. All right, guys, we're trying to get the camera adjusted because I usually just do like my own filming in here, not two people, so the lighting was kind of funny. Anyways, so number one, we talk about the RV.
Okay, what about the RV?
Well, I guess you wouldn't even call it an RV.
It's fifth wheel.
Fifth wheel, but that has changed. When we first filmed the first video, we were planning on buying a pull-behind travel trailer, and we felt good about it. We were going to buy a truck and a travel trailer, and then when we were in Hawaii, we got a call that they said, nope, it's not going to be ready. We're not making any more of those RVs, and they did have one for us, but they messed up and they sent it to Salt Lake City instead of Florida.
And they said, hey, well, why don't you just pick it up and drive it? No big deal. You're going to be coming through already. And I was like, no, that's 2,500 miles and over the Rocky Mountains in February, January. I don't want to pull that thing through the Rocky Mountains.
Plus, it was like an extra 5,000 miles of wear and tear on the trailer because they had already brought it all the way to Salt Lake, and then they were going to bring it to Florida, plus $5,000 more dollars. It just like, we just didn't feel good about it, but we actually didn't really freak out. Like, I still felt at peace, like, okay, the right decision is we just need to figure it out. So Mark started making some calls and seeing if we could find one that was already built, maybe like a last year's model. And
I think it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because when we started this process, we thought we wanted A, and then when that kind of got erased, it made us kind of go back to the drawing board. And after we had lived in that sort of smaller apartment in Hawaii, it kind of made us realize, okay, maybe we don't need to be in such a small space, and maybe it'll be worth spending a few extra dollars and getting something that'll fit our family a little bit better. So we kind of went back to the drawing board and ended up with a fifth wheel, which has a little bit more space and 2 bathrooms.
yeah, so the things that once we started looking at the fifth wheel, I just had never really looked at the fifth wheel. They're safer to drive, so I feel like that would be good for Mark because he's never really had to pull a trailer before like this. Yeah. So a fifth wheel is better for driving. It has a second bathroom, just a toilet and a sink for the kids, which I think will be really, really helpful. Yeah. And then it has a little bit more space for Violet. We were worrying after Hawaii that we needed a little bit more space for Violet so that she wouldn't get disturbed, and the fifth wheel does provide a little bit more space for her. So once we like looked into that, we started feeling like, oh, this maybe was what was supposed to happen. This is where we were supposed to end up. And Mark found a really good company to work with, a family-owned company in Ohio that we're going to be able to pick up the trailer from, and they just have been really nice to work with.
Maybe it just was meant to be. I mean, because we had paid a while ago. We really wanted to have that trailer purchase kind of knocked out to not have to worry about it, and so we maybe didn't purchase at the best time originally, but coming back at it in the middle of the winter, when they had a bunch of old models or prior year models that hadn't sold yet, it gave us a lot more bargaining power, and we were able to get a really deep discount on a brand new model. And so really not that much more money, but quite a bit better trailer, we think. So yeah. I'm really grateful for that. And I was able to work with a couple different dealerships and I think get a really fair price for us.
Yeah, and so the other things that the fifth wheel has that I was interested in, it does have a bigger kitchen and a bigger refrigerator. So I think that will also be good for our family because we do plan on eating most of our meals in camp and not on the road. We just don't like eating out. So we plan on going grocery shopping and eating at the trailer.
It's not going to be perfect though, in that, the national parks, most of them, it's about a 30-foot trailer is the limit. This trailer's 42 feet, so it's quite big. And so maybe not a long-term trailer for us for doing camping in Alaska, but I think for this trip, it's going to be perfect. And then we'll just see after this trip if we want to keep it or maybe we want to sell it and try something different.
Yeah, we don't know. So we're going a little bit bigger just because we're going to be living in it full time. We wanted the kids to have enough space. And we'll show it all to you later, but we feel like this would be a good one for our family. It has a bunk room. And the bunk room in the first one we were going to get is the exact same as this other one, except for they just added the bathroom. So anyways, we are not getting a big fancy RV. We are going to pull it with a truck. And then this leads me to question number 2. Mark is driving down with our white van. So we will have 2 vehicles. By having Violet, we made ourselves one too many people in our family to fit in anything that could pull a trailer safely. So any of the big vans, they can't pull the size trailer that we need for our family. So we are going to have 2 vehicles, but really I think that's going to work out to our benefit. We can all get in the van and go into cities and not have to pull the big trailer in. If Mark needs to go one direction with some kids one day and I need to go shopping or do laundry or film a video or something, we can have 2 vehicles. So we will be traveling in 2 vehicles, but we feel good about that.
So I will be driving down. So I have, as of today, I have 3 more weeks of work. And then I have 1 week to kind of get everything ready, and then I'm hitting the road with Lauren's dad. And honestly, I'm a little bit nervous because it's about 8 below 0 right now at the house. And up in the areas I'm going to have to drive through, it's 30 to 40 below 0. And I've never driven in that cold. I've driven at about 30 below 0. And so I'm really hoping that we kind of have a warm spell where it maybe be like 20 below 0 or 10 below.
Or 0.
Or 0. But we're just going to take it as we come. I've done this drive quite a few times, but never in the winter, and it's been about 20 years. In college, I was driving it like every other year, and then Lauren and I drove up the highway when we were newlyweds, but I've never done it in the winter. And so we're planning just to take our time. Well, sort of. I mean, we're gonna drive about 12 to 14 hours a day, and then try and stay at motels overnight, and take a couple days to get down out through Canada when we got a little more daylight and the road should be a little bit better, and then we'll cross the U.S.
So he mentioned my dad is going to come. My dad loves road trips. He loves driving, so he was willing to come and drive with Mark. So that will be really, really helpful to have 2 drivers. They also, when he says they have time, like if the weather is terrible, he's in a position where they can just hang out for a few days. Like we have a start date on this trip, but nothing is so set in stone that if it's not safe, they can't just stop and make adjustments. So that is their plan. So hopefully it will warm up a little bit between now and then, and they can just have a smooth drive through Canada and down to Ohio to pick up the fifth wheel.
So I'll have 2 weeks to do the following. I need to drive the Alcan Highway to Ohio. We have to buy a truck, make sure the truck's safe, get the fifth wheel installed, and then make it to Florida by February 1st to pick up the family. So that's the outline.
Yep. So we will be packing things up at home, and we will be flying to Florida to begin the trip. Mark and my dad will pick us up, and then we will see the fifth wheel for the first time. So
Yeah.
kind of scary, but exciting at the same time. That's just kind of how it's worked out. And we'll have about a week to get everything, like packed up in the RV, everything bought that we need before we kind of start to move around. So for packing, we pretty much plan to pack in like boxes and duffel bags, no hard-sided like roller suitcases or anything like that, because once we get down to the RV or motorhome or whatever you want to call it, we won't have a lot of storage to have those things. So we want to just be able to like have boxes that we can recycle and things like that. And hopefully we can just pack light and simplify things. I do want to bring some pots and pans and good knives and things like that, but we'll end up doing quite a bit of shopping, I think, when we get there, just to make sure we have the bits and pieces that we need. As Christmas is approaching, Mark and I pretty much are like, we pretty much just need things for the RV. So we'll just hold off on Christmas for each other for the most part, and take care of it once we get down to Florida and start our trip and know exactly what we need, because it just feels like there's a lot coming. We don't want to just be buying things to buy things. So it's exciting though, that thinking about starting the trip is exciting. We just got to get through the holidays, and then I feel like we can like take a deep breath and be like, okay, it's time to focus on the trip fully. And you got to stop working, but that's just how it's working.
And kind of hand off that torch there. Yeah, it's just been a whirlwind a little bit.
Yeah, it's just been a lot.
Like I wish I was more excited. I don't know if that's the right term, but it's just been like so much on my mind with finishing up work and getting the new person hired where I'm at and helping the kids with school and all that it's like just haven't had as much time to just kind of sit and be excited about what's coming. Although I am excited.
Yes, we are. There's just a balance of it. You just kind of have to be present, but we're excited because on Sundays we try and spend some time doing our planning and things like that. And then we get excited, and then the week hits and we're just like, whoosh. And then all of a sudden you're back to the week and you're like, oh yeah, we gotta think about the trip. So we are excited about it. So talking about the trip a little bit more. So the first part of our trip will be spent in Florida. We're going to be spending an entire month in Florida because it's so far from Alaska and there's so many experiences there that we want to make sure that we get like the full experience. So we have 5 different campsites that we have booked around the state of Florida. Each of them will be staying in for 5 to 7 days so that we can experience that area. And we're really excited about it. We're making sure that we're not moving on Sundays so that we can still take our family to church each Sunday. And we're excited about experiencing that in different places. And then, we're just really excited to start off in Florida. It's just so far from Alaska and so different that I think it'll be a really cool experience for all of us.
Yeah. When we started looking at planning it, I feel like it's kind of like Alaska or any place. It's just that every different part of it is so diverse, and you could go to the Keys and see this really tropical area, or you could go up to the Panhandle or to the Springs in Central. I mean, so it just seemed like a lot of really cool stuff to see, or go to NASA, the Space Center, and see all that stuff. So we're hoping to check it all out.
So from there, we're going to make our way up through Georgia and South Carolina, and then I have a sister that lives in North Carolina, so we want to go and spend several days with her. And then at that point, we are going to make our way across the United States. So we've been getting some really nice Christmas cards, people hoping that we're coming to their states, but because of the weather, doing this road trip in winter, we will be sticking to the southern part of the United States for at least like almost 3 months of the trip, because we don't want to get into a situation where we get ice or snow. We know that could still happen in the South, if there's some storm, and then we would just stop and make sure it's safe to travel. But we will unfortunately be sticking to the southern states, which we're really excited to explore, but there have been so many requests like, hey, if you make your way up to New Jersey or Minnesota and things like that, there's already like talk, we're like, oh, that would be so cool to go back that direction sometime in the fall, and see all the like leaves changing and things like that. Maybe in the future. We'll see how this first one goes. No promises. We don't know. We just don't know what the future holds. But so we will be sticking to the south, and we'll be going across, you know, Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona.
Yep.
So we have Florida completely planned out because it's really busy in the winter in Florida. And then we have things planned all the way up to my sister's. But then when we are crossing the United States, we don't have as much planned yet. Like our brains have not been able to like get that planned out. So we will be using a company called Harvest Host, where you can stop and stay at like local farms or breweries or church parking lots. And sometimes they have like an experience with them. We were looking at a blueberry picking farm, or like an alpaca farm where you can kind of go around the farm. And so we will be using Harvest Host in that section between North Carolina and Arizona. And we're really excited about that. We feel like that will get us a little bit away from the busy campgrounds and able to see more of like what life is like in those areas. So we're really excited about that.
I feel like I'm just eye candy. What can I talk about?
Do you want to say anything else about our route? You can talk about what we are going to do once we get over that area, if you want.
Yeah.
Arizona, Utah.
Once we get over to Arizona, we have a bunch of areas we really want to check out. There's a bunch of national parks. There's the Grand Canyon, there's Zion's, Canyonlands, Arches, all these kind of things around southern Utah, northern Arizona. And so we're really hoping to be able to spend some time there and show the kids the desert. And, you know, they've been a little bit in the desert, but really haven't experienced that type of desert. And I think that'd be really fun to share with them.
So we will go and see my parents in Phoenix, Arizona for a few days. And then we have a wedding in Utah that we've got to go to for a family member. But then we just plan on sticking in that area for quite a while because it just seems really, really fun with all the different options. And then we don't know our exact route, but we will be making our way up. We have family in Washington. We have friends in some other states that we want to maybe see before we make our way back up. At that point, we don't know. Yeah. We could just be like loving it and just enjoying visiting everybody, or we might be like, get us home. We're not sure. So that part of the trip could go faster or slower, just depending on how we're feeling at that point. Yeah. Now, we have mentioned we would like to do some meetups at some point along the way. But in all honesty, we don't know what that looks like. We don't really know even options for doing that. You know, we could maybe pick a restaurant. We could pick a park. We're not sure. So if you have ideas about that, feel free to email us. We plan on putting out some sort of itinerary about areas that we'll be in, and that you can email us or fill out a form, and then we'll see if there's any interest in a meetup in a certain area. So make sure that you're on our email list. I'm going to put a QR code here somewhere on the screen. I try and send out weekly emails. It tends to be about twice a month lately, where I just update you on things that are happening. So if you're not on that email list, that's kind of a fun place to get the behind the scenes of what's going on. And that will also be where we make some announcements. We'll also put it on a post here on YouTube, but I know a lot of you are watching on televisions, so you can scan this QR code with your phone and that will get you on our email list. And then if you are one of those people that are interested in some sort of meetup, we're not sure what they're going to look like, but that's where you'll get that information. And we won't be just broadcasting exactly where we are all the time. We'll just be kind of seeing if there's interest in a certain area, and then we will announce to the people that are actually interested when that event is happening, if that makes sense.
So if you have great ideas from North Carolina west over towards Arizona, in that area, please let us know. If there's a place we need to stop or someone we should visit or things to do, just let us know. Send us an email. We're open for ideas and open for adventure and neat things to see and learn.
And wonderful people to meet. If that is in the cards, we would love to meet some of you along the way. And like I said, we're just not sure how to go about that. That's my job to figure that out in the next month. So stay tuned. I never said what the email was, but ThisAlaskaLifeFamily is a great place to email us for that. Or you can email ThisAlaskaLifeTeam if you have information like ideas for us and things like that. We check both of those emails. But the emails that come weekly are from an email called ThisAlaskaLifeFamily. So that's, if you scan this QR code, you'll be sent to a website to sign up for that email. And it's just kind of a fun thing that we've been doing for several years now. I think there's over 10,000 people on the email list that just get updates on behind the scenes things that I don't share anywhere else. The next thing I have on my list is what will videos look like when we're on the road? And I have gone back and forth of what I want to film. I have lots and lots of ideas. I really feel like we will stick pretty close to our regular videos. Shopping, cooking, but this, from the RV, what kind of baking we do in there, things like that. And then when we have bigger adventures, we will bring everybody along. But feel free to let us know down in the comments kind of things that you would be interested in seeing while we're on the road trip. I would love to say that I could do like daily videos, but I know that that would just be a lot. So we're just going to be shooting for, the normal about 3 videos a week, and then we'll see what other bonus videos get thrown in there depending on where we are, what's going on, how exciting things are. But we know that you all love just the daily life as well. And daily life will look quite different in an RV. I'm hoping that it'll just be a little bit more simple without having all of the things that we have to do at home, like going and driving the kids to sports and their activities and things like that, that we'll just feel like we have a bit more time to just be together as a family is our hope.
Also, it depends on what kind of internet connection we can get. We will be using Starlink and satellite internet connection, and this is all new to us, and so there'll be a learning curve on that, and hopefully we can get it all worked out so that we can do homeschool and work and other stuff while we're on the road. We're not the first to do this, and so I think we can make it work like many people have. And
we kind of explained already, we'll be starting at campgrounds. I think we will definitely have access to internet at those type of areas, but there will be times when we are boondocking. As we get further west, there's more opportunities just to like camp out in the desert and things like that. So we're going to be doing a combination of all of those. So hopefully by that point, when we are starting to boondock, we'll have kind of a system down for making sure we have enough charged, we have enough water, we have the internet figured out. There's definitely going to be a learning curve. We are not naive that there will be ups and downs to this process. Just like there are at home, it's not going to be just like one big long vacation. Like we are going on the road, but we still got to do life. And so we know that there will be challenges along the way, and we're not naive to that, but we're still excited about it. Yeah.
Yep. And, I'm grateful that, we always have an out that if things go totally, totally wrong, we'll come back home and we'll lick our wounds. But I think, we just have enough resilience that if things, the cars break down or, things happen, we'll just figure it out on the road and keep plugging along and have a grand adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we didn't need to let the RV, having the RV snafu with the sales to derail us. So we just got to move on, and hopefully that'll teach resilience to our kids too. In that, because it's going to be different for them, and they'll be, things will be different, and hopefully this will teach them a little bit of resilience. And
I was recently talking to a friend, and she said during COVID they went and did like a month-long vacation because all the kids were doing online school, and that their kids still talk about it like, oh, we wish we could do something big like that again. And I feel like that's what we're going to feel like, because it's just going to be this time where we may never get this type of opportunity again because of the stage of life we're in. So we're just really excited to see where it takes us, what we learn, the people we meet along the way, the places we get to see. It's all going to be really exciting. And if you're a planner, I hope this doesn't make you anxious that we don't have every little bit planned out. We do have the first month really well planned out. It's just that we've got to get there. We got to get ourselves through the holidays, and we're trying to just really enjoy and embrace the holidays with our family because, we've been through hard times during the holidays just a few years ago, and I know that that was really hard on our kids. They've expressed that recently, so we're just really trying to make sure the holidays are wonderful, and then we can move on to this next grand adventure. So thank you so much for spending time with us. We hope that this answered some of your questions. Feel free to leave other questions down in the comments, and we will answer those as we go, because I'm sure once we get through the holidays, we will be showing you what it's like to get ready to go on this trip. So you'll get to come along and we can answer those questions throughout those videos.
I'm glad we have the courage to do this, because I feel like there's like so many, I mean, people have been supportive, but it feels like, I don't know, life is just kind of designed to like keep you in a rut, or like to keep you comfortable, because like all these things we're having to do are kind of like pulling us a little bit at a time out of our comfort zone, like having to change your work and having to do these different things. And I don't know, I'm just glad that we've been resolute that we're going to do it, because it would be so easy to be like, nah, we're just going to keep on. But I don't know. I heard someone say that they're like, the biggest regrets are not, or is not trying, when like not trying something you wanted to do. And because even if you failed, usually the regret of you tried and it didn't work out
is way less than
not trying in the first place,
I've also seen things lately where it's like people that wait to have every little thing figured out often don't ever do it.
Yeah.
And so I feel comfort in like we're taking these messy steps forward. And if you saw our first video, we got, we prayed about it, and we were told that we would, receive strength along the way. And we just continue to feel that like problems arise, but we're able to get through them and figure it out. And I feel like that will continue to happen. But you gotta move forward and have action.
I felt anxious like a number of days, not all the time, and like now I feel pretty calm. But like there have been times where I felt kind of anxious, like I'm quitting my job. And,
it's usually when we get overtired, we start to feel a little bit like, oh, what are we doing? We're getting rid of this like comfort level.
Yeah. But then, I reflect back on all the hard decisions, like big things that we've done, and kind of that like smooth walk, kind of the smooth sailing after, I don't know, whatever, after you get through it, you can realize, okay, that was like such a great thing. I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad I did it.
We read this book that talks about how you can't really predict the future, but you can look back on your life at times when you took like a big leap, and then what happened out of that. You can only look back to figure that out. You can't look to the future because you don't know what's happened yet, but what were the things that got you there? And I feel like this could be one of those big steps forward, where it is one of these big steps huge. Where it's totally changing the trajectory of our family.
Totally.
But when after reading the book, it's called 10x is easier than 2x, I think is what it's called. I sat down and I wrote down the times when I made these big leaps, like when I went to college, and then when we got married, and then when I started teaching, and when we had kids, and when I stopped teaching, and then when I started these little businesses along the way that were stepping stones. They weren't very successful, but they led me to doing YouTube. And then every time you look back on that, you thought, okay, what did you choose and what did you let go at those times that got you to a new place? And that's where we're at right now. We're having to choose to let go of some of the comforts, but I think we're going to just grow as a family, and hopefully our business will continue to grow and just support us and be able to bless people's lives along the way.
Yeah, because like if we wanted to get to where we wanted to be, I couldn't double what I was doing at work and double what we're doing at home. Like we're already just exhausted, and so like something had to change, and then but I think you're right. It's going to be kind of a watershed moment, I hope.
But we may not see it all until we look back at it. We have to remember that we are in this like metamorphosis mode. Like there are going to be some difficult things.
Yeah.
Not everything's going to click right away. I felt that with homeschooling. You know, there's things that we've had to just work through. Some things have been amazing and other things have been tricky. But overall, I'm just so happy that I'm doing it. When I look back on the last half a school year, I just entered the kids' grades today and did all their work samples and stuff. And I'm like, okay, like looking back on it, I'm like, we've been working hard. So that was reassuring. And
they're doing good too. I mean, it's challenging it's a change for them, change for mom and dad, but it's been great. I mean, the boys went on an awesome moose hunt adventure with me that they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. We were able to take them to Hawaii and have different kind of learning experiences. So, yeah.
Rock climbing.
And
taking the day yesterday to just go snowboarding. Like, that just felt so fun to be able to just go do it. And
a 4-month road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you. We're grateful for you. And we'll see you again real soon for more of This Alaska Life.